The young man ignored everyone's objections and plunged into the sea. The officer ordered that he be brought back, but he swam faster than anyone else and couldn't be caught. This was a naval base where racial discrimination was rampant. In the sweltering summer, everyone wanted to go for a swim. However, there was a rule: whites could swim whenever they wanted, but blacks were only allowed in the water on Tuesdays. He wanted to break this rule, which was why he jumped into the sea despite everyone's attempts to stop him. The man was black and came from a family of farmers. His father didn't want him to follow in his footsteps and sent him to the Navy as a way to change his destiny. His father had repeatedly told him that no matter how tough it got, he had to persevere. With his father's hopes and his beloved radio, the man set off. But when he arrived at the base, he found that as a black man, he was considered lowly and was only given menial tasks. Because he had broken the rules, the man was put in confinement. However, the captain, having seen his extraordinary courage and his talent for swimming, recommended him to the Naval Academy to become a diving rescue specialist. When he got to the academy, he was rejected by the instructor because he was black. The discrimination here was even worse, but the man didn't give up. He stood at the entrance for a whole day. The instructor, moved by his tenacity, finally agreed to let him into the base. After finally getting in, he was greeted with a mouthful of spit from his fellow soldiers. The instructor held a welcome ceremony for him, but his comrades didn't want to room with him and all moved out. Only one boy was willing to live with him because he was a stutterer and was also often looked down upon by his fellow soldiers. In the middle of the night, the man was woken up by the instructor, who said it was time for morning exercise. But instead, he was sprayed with a high-pressure water hose and then pushed underwater, trying to make him give up. But remembering his father's words, the man endured it. The stutterer, who lived with the man, was targeted by the instructor for being close to him. If he couldn't hold his breath for 4 minutes, he would be expelled. The man felt very guilty. One day, during an underwater welding exercise, an accident happened. The man volunteered to go down with another comrade to rescue the person in trouble. But the ship's hull collapsed again. The other comrade was so scared that he ran away immediately, leaving the man alone. He still managed to save his teammate. The instructor praised the incident, but the commendation went to the coward who had run away. Everyone chose to stay silent. Only the person who had been rescued gave him an approving look. Faced with such an instructor, he decided to challenge him to a breath-holding contest. If he lost, he would drop out voluntarily. If he won, the stutterer would be allowed back. The instructor agreed.